Last race for Saturday, Unlimited Heat 3A. This is the gold class, and it's the last gold race before tomorrow for the big medal, for the gold medal, and the marquee event, the Unlimiteds. Here at Reno, we heard legendary air race announcer Sandy Sanders. If you were with us in the interim there, give a beautiful description of all our players. But we're going to do it if you're just checking in, if you wanted to check out this last race and tell you who the players are. And pulling out onto the runway right now. Following our pace plane. Sorry, Rob.
No, all good. So many storylines in this class and in this race here today. And we look at our pole sitter here, Stephen Hinton, Steve-O, race 3, the Bardall Special. As he takes off, you'll also see on the right side of your screen an in-cockpit view from him.
Position number 2. This is race 114. Stephen Kohler from Sacramento, California. Argonaut is the name of this MK11 Sea Fury.
Another Sea Fury from the Sanders family. This is race 924. Joel Swagger, Ione, California. Another Sea Fury Mark 20. And for those of you that may be wondering where is Dreadnought, if you didn't hear it earlier or see it earlier on the coverage, Dreadnought, the other Sea Fury, experienced an engine problem in time trials and is out of the race.
That's the 4th position right there, starting position. That is John Maloney, Miss Trinidad, the Yak 3. Yak 3U R2000, race number 27.
World War II Soviet fighter there, Tommy. So we have all Allied fighters in the class today, and here's another great example of the history. This is Vicky Benzing in race 64, Plum Crazy. For those of you that recognize that purple airplane, that is the very airframe that Clay Lacey campaigned here at Reno for many years. That airframe finished in 3rd place, the inaugural race in 1964. We'll talk more about the history here in just a little bit.
How about things all coming together, those historical threads being knit together in this final week. And 5 California planes, and number 6 is from neighboring Oregon, Bend, Oregon's Dan Vance. Race number 31, Speedball Alice, the P-51.
Beautiful D-model P-51s here as our field departs. Now they will accelerate and catch up with the pace plane and bring back around. But this group had quite a race yesterday, Tom.
Absolutely, and Steve-O Hinton in the Bardall Special, the number 1 post position, laid down a beautiful race. It was a masterful effort here, an easy win there. We talked to Steve-O just a little bit after that race was completed yesterday.
Today is our first heat race in the gold class. We stood down after qualifying earlier in the week. The weather up here in Reno is perfect. Haven't seen it this good in 20 years. Light breeze, 85 degrees. And we're just running enough power to stay in first place. So it's a long way to Sunday. We got to make sure the airplane stays healthy and the engine stays healthy. And if we can keep all the parts moving in the right direction, God willing, we'll be in first place come Sunday. Yeah, so with the speed discrepancy between our aircraft and some of the other aircraft in the heat, we do end up lapping airplanes. This was a 6-lap heat race. By Sunday, it'll be 8 laps with a lot of slower aircraft. So it's going to be challenging picking our way. We have altitude restrictions and lateral restrictions. You're kind of racing through a donut here. So when you have other traffic, rubbing is not racing in this sport. So you really got to be heads up and keep your eyes open.
Tell me how you feel about it. How long have you been racing?
Let's see, this is my 10th year racing here at Reno. I retired for the last 5 years and accepted this challenge. It was a good reason to come out of retirement. So we're got the whole band back together from Strega and Voodoo, and we're having a great time.
Steve-O Hinton, the winner of yesterday's race. Let's take a look at that race right now, Rob.
Absolutely. See on the screen here, there is Steve-O in the white Bardall Special. He had the pole, jumped out front. The 2 Sea Furies right behind with Swagger and Kohler yesterday, but like we said, Steve-O Hinton in the Bardall Special just laid it down. It was smooth, it was solid all the way around. It settled into 2nd and 3rd with Argonaut in 2nd and 924 in 3rd, and that's pretty much the way it settled out for the entire race yesterday. Fairly competitive. It was great to see the all this history and all this going. Here you get to see another look at Plum Crazy with Vicky Benzing. That's such a historic airplane, but this was the story right here. Steve-O Hinton out front.
Oh yeah, out front and way out front by the end of that race right there. Qualified with a time of 439 miles an hour. That was magnificent.
Yeah, and there it was. That was the checkered flag yesterday in the gold pairing as he went by. And here you see today, he's on the pole again. You see our T-33 pace plane, which is courtesy of Ace Maker Air Shows, the airplane known as Ace Maker. The pilot, here's one of the historic trends. The pilot in our pace plane is Steve Hinton Sr. He's the father of our pole sitter, Steve-O Hinton, who we just heard from. Both have an amazing history. Steve-O in the pole position, White Bardall Special, 7-time champion. His dad, a 2-time champion. It runs in the family.
Absolutely. It's a tight-knit family as well, and they're all having their great last dance here in Reno this time around.
Well, here's
been fun to be a part of it.
Here's something else, Tommy, that's really interesting. That Bardall Special, that airframe, flew here in 1964. The first year we flew in Reno, it finished second that year in the unlimited race. And over on the right side of your screen, Plum Crazy, we talked about it. The Plum Crazy airplane, flown by Clay Lacey, flew here and finished third that same year. Now, the Plum Crazy plane finished third 6 times, all the way up through 1969, and eventually became a champion. The airframe did in 1970. So much history right here in front of you in this class.
How terrific is it to be able to book in 6 decades with 2 planes in this one unlimited class here, the class that probably draws the most attention of all at Reno.
You know, our good friend, the late Steve Stavrakakis, used to say these are the bad boys of speed. Well, we have the bad men and women of speed.
That's right.
And that's appropriate, and we're so glad to have that. And this is the class that is the iconic class. You heard Steve-O talk about the band is back together from Strega and the old teams and some of the history that he's been a part of, and it's all back this year. A lot of the modifications when Bardall Special came last year, it was competitive, but it wasn't out front. I understand over the off-season there was a lot of the old Strega-type modifications made to that airplane, and it definitely has the speed this year for sure.
Beautiful as evening descends on the valley here in Reno. Stead Airport, the destination here for so many years. A little bit of a cloud bank has rolled in, high clouds. Nothing to interfere with the racing. Just enjoyed some terrific weather here. The prediction for tomorrow is the same. Couldn't be happier. Great way to go out.
Yeah, so we see some clouds, but those are actually just helping shade us from the sun.
Yeah.
And no threat of moisture, no high winds, no smoke. It's a great year, Tommy.
They're around.
And folks, what you'll hear as we get set for this race, you will hear the pace plane talking to the racers as they make their way behind those hills to your right. We'll zoom in on the camera just a little bit. There you can see them off in the distance. They are continuing to line up. You see our pace plane has the smoke on. It's a little hard to pick out against the clouds, but your pace plane is the far right plane, and let's listen in to how they get set up to race.
All right, guys, here we go. Down.
Tommy, they're coming downhill. We heard that on the radio. They're accelerating now. They've got to stay in those lanes all the way to the guide pylon, which is where you're standing, ladies and gentlemen. That's where this camera is. They're going to come right at you. Unlimited racing like nowhere else. This is the fastest motorsport on the planet, and you're about to experience the thunder that is Reno National Championship Air Races.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we've got a race.
There we go, Tommy. Pace plane's up and away. We're underway. Pretty much held our order through the guide pylon, Tommy, with Bardall Special out front. Here you see our 2 Sea Furies. Leading that is Argonaut, followed by 924. both trying to get some speed built up to catch Bardall. And you see 924 beginning to move outside of his fellow hangar mate,
Yep.
Argonaut.
Pretty strong move it appeared to be for a moment right there. Let's see if it continues, sustains.
There you see our leader swipe through the view as he makes his way to the home pylon. Here come these two Sea Furies. We continue to see Argonaut, Stephen Kohler, race 114 out in front, followed by race 924.
Pretty well into his second lap already. Our leader, the Bardolph Special, Steve-O Hinton.
Tommy, we continue to have that fantastic in-cockpit view right over his left shoulder as he rolls through the foothills.
Trailing 114, two Sea Furies there. Slager at the 924, Stephen Kohler at the 114.
Pretty good battle for second there. Here's back to our leader, Steve-O Hinton in the Bardolph Special. He's already made his way back around to pylon 7, 8, and 9. He's just about to wrap up lap number 2 of 6. 440 some odd miles an hour right now.
Steve, you know what? You don't have to lean on it too hard because these guys are quite a ways behind them. However, you know,
it's almost like a formation clinic with these Hawker Sea Furies coming around in second and third. But here's our leader back up at the guide pylon.
Steve-O Hinton, 7-time champ here.
Fans at home getting to enjoy these amazing views and sounds of the thunder here as he comes down Valley of Speed.
The audio is very important.
Our leader's moving so fast out in front there. He is definitely pulling away from second and third. Jump back to second, Tommy. This is Argonaut, Stephen Kohler, race 114. Begin to pull away a little bit from Joel Swager in 924. I don't know if that's just he's found something to pull away, or if Swager's just figured out I don't have enough to get around him and going to save the equipment for tomorrow. I believe our leader has, we were away from the shot, past Speedball Alice.
Yes, he did. Sure
lapped
did.
him, and so now he's well into his already lap 5 for our leader.
Enjoying about a 4-mile lead on this 8-mile race course as it stands right now, ahead of second place.
There is our second place aircraft, Tommy, as he makes the turn headed for the guide pylon up into the foothills. Race 114 Argonaut and the Sea Fury. Beautiful airplane. He's on the north part of the course,
White
around
flag,
south,
white
coming
flag.
here to the white flag. This is your leader, Steve-O Hinton. Race 3, the Bardol Special. One more trip around, Tommy. That is the V12 Rolls-Royce Merlin, license built in the U.S. by the Packard Corporation, but there it is. Heading around the north end, headed for the Valley of Speed one last time. Stephen Hinton, race 3.
They're all clear. Okay.
Radio traffic you heard from Vicky Benzing was being passed by Argonaut on the other end of the course as we watch the leader come to the checkered flag here, Tommy.
Checkered flag, runway 120.5.
There it is, your unofficial winner.
Bardol Special. I'm going to go out on a limb saying we've established a firm favorite for tomorrow's gold race. I don't think I'm out of line.
Here's your number 2 place aircraft. This is the Argonaut. Hawker Sea Fury, piloted by Stephen Kohlers. He rolls into the Valley of Speed one last time for today.
924 is coming by on the outside. All right, Dan.
Making the turn for home. Race 114 Argonaut. Taking the checkered flag in unofficially second place. Here comes third place, Joel Swagger in race 924. And he had just lapped Speedball Alice, who you'll see come across. Here's Vicky Benzing, beautiful Plum Crazy P51. Miss Trinidad, the Russian Yak fighter from World War II, out on the course. We have pulled up already. We have the winners. But let's go back and look at the start here, Tommy. You can see far left, Bardol Special, Steve-O Hinton way out front.
Did not take long, pretty much a carbon copy of the last race, yesterday's, Friday's racing. Unlimited 3A.
Initially, we had some what appeared to be close competition for second and third between the two Sea Furies, but this view you see here out of the cockpit of that airplane. Race number 3, the Bardol Special, flag to flag, but back in the pack through the mid-laps. These two Sea Furies, both from the Sanders hangar, competing with each other, with Stephen Kohler and Joel Swagger, but they eventually stayed in those positions the entire race. There you see the pass by Argonaut around Speedball Alice, having to pass high and outside, but here is your leader coming to the checkered flag right there, your unofficial winner, followed by Argonaut. Second place. And the beautiful Plum Crazy, Vicky Benzing.
A lot of history.
Man.
In those top 4, that is for sure. Top 5, I should say, but right on top, of course, Steve-O Hinton, race number 3, the Bardol Special, just a dominating performance there. Stephen Kohler in race 114, race 114, the Argonaut in second place, Joel Swagger, 924. Third, John Maloney, Miss Trinidad, 27. In fourth place, Vicky Benzing in fifth with Plum Crazy and Dan Vance. Speedball Alice, race number 31 in sixth place. That is unlimited for your Saturday racing. And that completes our racing card for today. Had a terrific day out there. Of course, the weather has been just perfect. The racing has been just as expected. Everything going off without a hitch. Some dominating performances and some very, very tight racing at the front and back in the back of some of these packs here. So great to have you along here. We got more streaming coverage coming for you tomorrow. It's going to crank up about 7:30 local time, Pacific time. And we hope to see you then. All but one of our medals will be handed out tomorrow here at the National Championship Air Races from Reno.